guys? So we're here. We have finally made it. You got a Coop on the other side there in his Florida State outfit, and you got D here with my Home Depot well-earned Auburn jersey. Um, so, guys, a lot of cool things we're going to be starting. So tonight we're going to just chit chat and talk about what Coop and I will be doing. We'll be covering a lot of Alabama, the Wiregrass areas, talking about high school football. Our shows will be we'll air them on Thursdays, and we'll display it on Friday. Before we'll be doing some shows first before we actually go live. But just want to kind of give you tonight's about just who we are, what we're doing, what our plan is, our goals. And let me throw a little love there because Coop thinks this is the year here since they got that Boston College savior guy. And I know we're going to talk about high school first, but we had to talk about FSU and Alabama. That is going to be huge. I think that's going to start the season off on who's got the bragging rights. I mean, if you got some little trash talking coming from your side, Coop, right? Ain't that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, right out of the gate, you're gonna get the prominent big dog, typical big dog from SEC, Alabama. Uh, Saban's gone, but the team's still there. The coaching staff, for the most part, has an identification left behind Saban, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'll be coming down to Tallahassee, and we'll see what happens. Completely revamped
Yep.
team.
New stadium.
Yep,
New stadium.
yep. The stadium just got renovated again, and it's exciting. A lot of fans. In fact, the tickets went on sale, and the first 30 minutes, all the tickets are sold out. So you go online now, you're going to pay a premium for any of those tickets. Uh, but yeah, it's
Well, you do
exciting.
have to you do have to say though, Florida State doesn't have a large football stadium.
So
So in Tallahassee, it is not as big as your Alabamas and your so there. I could see it selling out pretty quick on a type of matchup that is. Wouldn't you agree?
yeah, so originally the stadium was around 88,000. Renovations, and additional boxes, VIP seating, if you will, has rendered it down to somewhere around 68,000. So that seats that you can actually purchase, and the rest is VIP or boxes. So, but yeah, it's
Yep.
going down. It's going down right off the bat. You'll have Alabama rolling down to Tallahassee, and it'll be a 1-for-1. So next year it'll be back in uh, Tuscaloosa, but it'll be
That's
on
right.
ABC. It'll be on ABC, of course, August 30th at 2:30, a 2:30 kickoff. And your beloved Coach Malzahn is now the offensive coordinator for Florida State. So they got a revamp.
Right.
They got a revamped team, revamped coaching staff, and new defensive line coach, new offensive line coach, of course, offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And they went out in the portal, and they have about 23 guys they pull from the portal, several from the SEC and other P4 conferences.
The
Uh,
Yeah, that Malzahn, that's his bread and butter. He is an offensive guru. He was a big piece to the Auburn University run when we actually played you guys in the national championship.
Absolutely.
He helped create all that fire and that energy that Auburn once had in that offensive side of things. And he tried his piece to the college head coaching, and it is different. It is completely different. Um, well, that's cool. But like, hey guys, I know we're talking a little bit of college football right out the gate, but we had to chit chat about that huge game coming up. Well, let's it is time to talk about high school football. So, man. So, SideLine Sports, we're going to be trying to cover all of it. I don't think there's enough time between Coop and myself to get it all covered, especially on our end of the week show. And tonight we're just kind of talk to you about what we're doing, but we cannot not talk about that Thursday night game. I believe it's Thursday.
It, it it's
Um,
it's Thursday night, 21st, of course, 7 o'clock kickoff. Montgomery, you got number one Thompson, and of course number 24 Carver of Montgomery. So
yep,
it's going to be
yep.
great.
And it is, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there's two games going on like last year. You have also the kickoff classic. You also have Pike Road High School playing Carver's old coach, Bobby Carr, that moved over there to Prattville High School, and that is going to be a great game. That is going to be also on Thursday night, 7 o'clock kickoff.
That's
And
correct.
last year Pike Road went 8-2, and Prattville went. No, they went 8-2. They had a great season. I think they got put out of the playoffs by Saraland, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but it's going to be a great, game. Prattville 7A, of course, and Pike Road, is 6. But it's just going to be a good game. But that Carver and that um, Thompson game is going to be huge. Of course, Carver's quarterback graduated last year. Carver lost Turbo. He's, from what I hear right now, he's third string at Ohio State. So they're running back. He was a starter in the Alabama Mississippi All Star game. He was the starting running back over Alvin Henderson out of Auburn. But it's going to be a good game. I just hope they got somebody to throw those talented receivers the ball, and I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. There's a lot of talent at Carver, and that game, you still got our. He's a junior now, but Auburn High School lost to him as an eighth grade in the state championship at Jordan Hare Stadium, but he's still at the helm of being the quarterback there at Thompson. And Thompson reloaded. They lost a lot of guys, but I believe they reloaded. So wouldn't you say, Coop? I think that's probably the game of the week. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely will be. You got you got Carver there with two big dogs at the wide receiver position. Both of those guys are going big D1 schools or projected to D1 schools. Thompson's going to come loaded. They all they do is reload every year. They're going to be strong defensively. It's what they're known for, and then the big time plays. So they'll have the weapons offensively at the key spots. Receivers, running back, tight end, quarterback. Look for that every year from those guys. It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. Top 25 matchup. Um, hey, Thompson's got the highest paid coach in the state for a reason. That guy knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah,
you
Freeman was doing the same thing at Spanish Fort, man.
that's right. That's right.
So back when they were winning state championships, that's why they were. I mean, they had Freeman down there as well. And another big game I want to call out, Coop, is Moody High School. So Moody High School is a 5A powerhouse in Alabama. They've got some D1 studs on that team. They're going to be going over to Gainesville, Georgia, playing Josh Niblett
That's
and
going to be
Niblett from Hoover. So Moody, and they'll also be coming. They'll be heading to Auburn to play Auburn High School for
later in
Auburn's
the season.
homecoming as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But I heard that Moody does this because they play all these talented teams at the beginning, so they're prepared and ready. So when they play their teams and being in 5A, they're more they've been hit in the mouth, they've hit people in the mouth, they're prepped, they're groomed, they're ready to go, and it gets them ready for the season. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think they lost in the state championship. Um, yeah, so they got a great program there. They do a lot of good things there. So that'd be an interesting one. Going over to Gainesville, Georgia, the Red Elephants, and
That's
playing
right.
Niblett.
And Gainesville's already played a one game this year already. They're 1-0 on the season, so that they've already knocked the rust off, if you will. Been through all your initial preseason, pregame jitters and concerns. So they've actually had an opportunity to put their offense and defense on the field and maneuver. They won that game 26-0 as well over another local Georgia opponent there. So. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. We'll see what Moody has against a formidable opponent.
The and I'll tell you that there's a lot of Thursday night games. Another one that sticks out, Coop, is Hoover. Hoover playing IMG.
So
They'll be playing IMG on Thursday night.
yeah, so
Uh, number three Hoover, 7A in Alabama. As course Auburn's four. Excuse me, Auburn's yeah, number four, and then Central's two, and Thompson, of course, one. So you know, Hoover lost some key players. Man, their quarterback went with a couple Auburn players, and they're over at UVA Wise, University of Virginia and Wise, and that's where he's at with Auburn center, Auburn's starting defensive tackle, or both of them actually. Yeah, they've lost some players, but I don't think they reloaded like Thompson did, but I think they reloaded. They still got Jameis Winston's little brother.
Yeah,
He's getting a lot of recognition this year. He's a senior, so they'll be ready. But Cooper, hey, Coop, it's IMG, man. What, I mean, what do
yeah.
you?
IMG puts out arguably the most talent, especially in the South. You're not going to beat them on talent. Um, they roll in every year with 4 and 5 star players scattered across their roster, and it'll be no different this year. They'll have several D1 commits across the board at different levels. You'll see them as 10th graders, 11th graders. They'll get playing time based off the progress of their games from week to week. But yeah, there's always several blue chips coming out of IMG, regardless of schedule. So that'll be a good one as well. And that's a telltale. So Hoover can actually uh, kind of see what they have and how good they are potentially could be at offensive defense. But yeah, IMG, it doesn't get any tougher than that. You will never face a Friday night opponent that has more talent than IMG.
And it's crazy because if you play football for Hoover, you live in the Hoover area. You play football for IMG, you live on campus, but you can move from anywhere in the country.
That's right.
That in its own is pretty unique and pretty different. And that facility is phenomenal. I know there was talks in the past when Birmingham Southern closed down. IMG was trying to move the whole program to the Birmingham area and just fill in with Birmingham Southern. But I don't know if it was a cost thing or what it was. But they know if they get closer to the Alabama Georgia state line up here, they know it would probably be a little bit easier to get some more people into the IMG instead of being kind of down there in the I wouldn't say the woods, but kind of there off the interstate a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they
Yeah, it's a lot of Thursday games, and I'm just man Thursday nights, and a lot of them, is going to be on online. A lot of them's going to be on TV. Man, Thursday night's going to be packed, man. That's going to
it,
be some getting pizzas and watching some good games.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you got those kids coming up, that maybe didn't get all the playing time last season, but they work their tails off in the off season and get where they need to be, and they get opportunity to play. So, and we'll express that. We'll go through that. We'll call it rising stars, if you will, and those gentlemen will have an opportunity to perform for their schools and their team, and see their name go up the chart in regard to recruiting. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great year. A lot of big names coming out of the state of Alabama. And there again, you're going to get all your powerhouses recruiting in this area.
Yep, and I agree. And one thing, Sideline Sports will be bringing to you guys is some guests. We'll have some guests on as well. Maybe some NFL players, some past NFL players, some high school coaches, some high school players, even some high school players that did so great and good that they're actually in college now. Just kind of touching base and seeing how they're enjoying it. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of cool stuff for you guys to take in, especially for you football fans. But a lot of the stuff we're gonna do is definitely cover high school football, and we'll talk a little college too. But high school football is what we know very well. Um, Coop and I both was involved with Super Seven for many years, and we got to meet a lot of coaches. We got to develop a lot of relationships. We just got to get involved in that program and watch kids, that went from standing on the sideline to being a starter in college. We've got just a lot of cool things, and we've got funny stories to tell you too about some teams that we've been on the sideline with that you wouldn't believe. But since I have another person here, you'll kind of believe how the story went. But we're gonna bring all that to you at our show. We're gonna have some fun. Like I said, guys, give us your input. I know we'll be streaming. We'll have our information on our YouTube channel, SideLine Sports. We'll have our Instagram. You follow us on Instagram at sideline_sports455. We also have Twitter at sideline455, and of course Facebook. So make sure you comment. Make sure you comment for some stuff you guys want to hear. It's our weekly show, so there's some things you want to hear us talk about, or if you want to elaborate, or even if you want to be on the show, just let us know. Maybe send a direct message. Maybe some cool stories you want to share. But yeah. Real quick, Coop, before we left, I kind of want to highlight some of these top players in the state of Alabama.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
a lot of these guys that we know, the top guy right off the bat is Benjamin Russell. So Sadarian Morgan. So as you guys know, and you might not know, Opelika plays Benjamin Russell right out the gate, and Opelika lost a lot of talent last year, but they still had some talent right there on the field and right there on the sideline. So but Benjamin Russell got a new coach. Not only did he win 5A state championship, he also won 6A state
That's
championship, or
right.
was it 4A?
That's for it.
But 4A, 5A. Yep, Montgomery Catholic's head coach is now Benjamin Russell. And from what I'm hearing, Coop, you can correct me if I'm wrong, he brought the quarterback with him
He
that
did.
Auburn just off. So believe he's now a 4.5 star, maybe even 5 star. But I think that was the gap in the offense with Benjamin Russell is they had a lot of talent, but they didn't have nobody that could get Darren Morgan the ball at 6'4", 210 pounds. And by the way, he's also a basketball phenom. He's special on the basketball court as well. But he's the number one player in the state of Alabama. He's committed to Alabama. Um, and after that, it's Anthony Jones out of St. Paul's down in Mobile.
That's right.
He's committed to Oregon. And then you got Landon Duckworth, special quarterback, as well as a basketball player as well there. Special player. He's committed to South Carolina Gamecocks. And then you got Vodney Cleveland. So Vodney came from Prattville and
Right.
was a dog there, and he moved up to Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken. He's the number 4 guy, and he's committed to Texas. Then you got Zion Gibson out of Gadsden City. He's a corner. He's committed to Alabama. He's the
Right.
number 5. Xavier Crowell. He is actually the running back with Landon Duckworth at the high school. So pretty talented duo there, and he's committed to Alabama as well. Then you got Jaquez Wilkes out of Wadley, right around the corner here. Small little Wadley, special player here, very talented. And I think he plays a little bit of everything. I think he plays edge. I think he was a running back in the state championship, but he's committed to Auburn. Number 8 is Ezekiel Harris out of Jemison. Jemison's out of Huntsville, Alabama.
That's right.
He is a edge. He's an edge as well. He's committed to Auburn. You got Emmanuel Ruffin out of Bessemer City as a defensive lineman, 6'4", 290. He is not committed. Number 10, Marquez Daniel out of Booker T. Washington. And that's right here, Tuskegee. Locally, from where we broadcast from, down the road, in Tuskegee, Alabama. They had a lot of players, Coop. I don't know if you know, they had a lot of players that left in the last couple of years. The head coach went to Tallahassee, and when he left, a lot of kids went to Pike Road. Few kids went to Auburn. A couple kids stayed there, and Marquez was one of the ones that stayed there. So Marquez is a receiver, and I got to see him on a basketball court, and he's special as well. He's a 6'5", 195, and he's committed to the Gators. And then you got Chapman, another Jackson football player out of Jackson, Alabama.
Right.
He's committed to the Tar as a receiver. So he's the one catching the passes that Duckworth was throwing, and then Crowell was the one getting the handoffs when you couldn't pass it. So a lot of talent there. You got another kid out of Booker T. Washington, out of Tuskegee, in the top 12, and he's committed to LSU, and that's Dylan. Dylan was a basketball player. Got to meet him at a young age, and special kid. He's 6', 165. He's committed to LSU. So that tells you Booker T. Washington still got some things going on over there, even though they lost that coach and they had to kind of rebuild.
Absolutely.
But there's always something growing. But
Absolutely.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just the guys that are have received accolades and their names are out there. based off what they performed, performance from the previous year. And you'll have guys coming up, so there'll be a whole nother class of guys, and even guys this year that they'll become household names in the local areas in regard to football. And it's just exciting because you look at people. In fact, a kid from Auburn High School, he was pretty well known throughout the ranks the last year or two, and last year he was able to have the best year at running back at Auburn High School, and he reclassed, same thing as Mr. Williams over at Alabama did, and now he's with the Auburn Tigers. But there's always guys like that. I call them gems, right? And there's always gems out there, and they really establish themselves throughout the year, and it's exciting to see who does what halfway, midway, and later in the season as well.
No, I agree. I agree. You know, speaking of Auburn High School, they're hosting Friday night. They're hosting Booker High School out of Sarasota, Florida. That is loaded with talent. They probably got 60 kids on the roster. They got a couple that play both sides, but they've got, man, probably six, seven. I was looking, 6 or 7 D1 committed in big schools. Not really Power Five, but some powerhouse programs, and they're coming to Auburn. Uh, they're coming to the state of Alabama. As you know, Auburn played North Miami Beach last
That's
year,
right.
first game of the season, and that was kind of a blowout. That was shocking to a lot of people. Um, but I don't think this is going to be that way. Booker's got a good program. They actually played two. They played. Let's see what played Friday night, a preseason game against Manatee. So Manatee in Florida lost in a state championship last year in the division a step above the division that Booker plays in, and they beat them. They beat them. So a lot of teams they lose their players, and they regain them like you said, and some move in, and you got different things like that going on. But like you said, none of that matters, Coop, until you strap it up. Until you strap it up. Who's
That's
having a
right.
good day? Who's the best? Who's in the groove? And none of that matters. One turnover away could change the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've seen it firsthand many, many times.
Um, but yeah, so some recent news. Tristan Lyles, defensive end out of Central, just uncommitted from Appalachian State, and his recruitment still it's back open. Um, so that was a huge piece for Central's getting him back. And not sure if you know, but they've given Cam Coleman out of Auburn. They've given his little brother the head quarterback spot over there at Central, and
Nice,
I don't think he got too many reps last year. So this
right?
is this could either hurt a little bit or he's going to come out swinging, man. So that's a big difference.
Yeah, another one of those underclassmen that has an opportunity to shine. We're talking about those, and it's always fun to see those guys develop in front of your eyes, real time. But yeah, absolutely. And there again, we've seen it year in and year out where guys really don't get a whole lot of playing time. They're sitting back to, a senior or more developed player, and they come in when they get their, it's their time to shine, and they produce. We see it year in and year out. So look for some big names to move up the recruiting charts throughout the season.
Yep. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I was scrolling here just to see where, an Auburn player popped in, and the first Auburn player that popped in this top players in Alabama was 52 at Carnell Jackson, 6'3", 340. He's a defensive lineman. He's committed to Arkansas Razorbacks, and from what I hear, man, when the ball moves, his hands are already on you, like from the ground. They're from the ground and already on you as soon as the ball moves. So when you're 6'3", 340 and you can move like that, that's a
Yeah, yeah,
that's scary right there.
that's
That's
right.
scary. So a lot of talent, like you said, Coop, a lot of talent in the area. Um, and the biggest piece is, you just don't know. You just don't know. A lot of teams lost their players. Some kept some, but everybody kind of had to rebuild a little bit. And I guess we'll find out this week, either Thursday night or Friday night, right?
Absolutely. Thursday night, we get the ball rolling. We'll go from there. Again, Hoover taking on number one team in Florida, IMG. It's going to be exciting. big time matchups.
Yep, yep, I agree. I agree. So once again, guys, Sideline Sports. Um, our next show it will be week one high school kickoff classic, and our kickoff football for the season, and that will be available Friday morning before the game start. And then we'll have some information there, and like I said, we'll put it on our all of our channels. So like it, share it, comment, tell us what you want to hear, what you want to see. Um, but until then, Coop, if you don't have anything else, man, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a good introduction. Get the word out there. It's always great to have a sports outlet. So many years I've listened to the Rick and Bubba's and everyone else, sport related, and have enjoyed it a lot. You can never have too much sports radio, especially when you're hitting different sports, right? So, but yeah, absolutely. Look forward to the season. Look forward to the podcast. We're gonna have a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We got a big lineup throughout the year. Personnel will bring on some guys that are household names. So very exciting.
That's right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So guys, hey, from D to Coop, Sideline Sports, we're out. We'll see you in a few days. We appreciate you guys. And let me one more time. Let me give it to you. There you go. There you go. So we appreciate you guys. And like I said, Sideline Sports, like, share, follow, and we'll see you guys in a couple days. We're out.